Hello everyone, how are you? My name's Aaron, this is Question Period Canada. I've got a question for you. Whatever happened to the Alain Reyes story? He's an Orphan MP, used to be a Conservative, now he's an Independent, but for the last month he's been trying to break this Governor General scandal. Outrageous spending, and he's got numbers to back them up. I don't know where they come from, but he's got numbers. It's outrageous spending. We're going to be taking a look at the Governor General, what that role is, Alain Reyes, a little history there, and then actually what's been happening in Parliament and how the media is ignoring it. Let's take a closer look. The 30th and current Governor General of Canada is Mary Simon, who was sworn in on 26th of July in 2021. She's an Inuk leader from Nunavut in Quebec. Simon is the first Indigenous person to hold the office. She was nominated on July 6, 2021 to replace Julie Payette, who had resigned in January. Richard Wagner, the Chief Justice of Canada, had served as Administrator of the Government of Canada in the interim. Let's take a peek what the role includes, where it comes from, how it's chosen. The King, on the advice of his Canadian Prime Minister, appoints a Governor General to carry on the Government of Canada in the King's name, performing most of his constitutional and ceremonial duties. Yes, so King Charles, on the advice of Prime Minister Trudeau, chose Mary Simon as the 30th Governor General of Canada for his ceremonial duties. That's it, really. It's kind of a BS position. So now let's take a quick look at Alain Reyes. He's an Orphan MP, used to be a Conservative, now he's an Independent. How did that happen? Let's find out. Alain Reyes was first elected in 2015 as a Conservative for the Richmond-Athabasca area of Quebec. He remained a Conservative until 2022, when after Pierre-Poilievre won the Conservative leadership race, he left the caucus. Said he couldn't see eye to eye with Pierre-Poilievre. They had different views. Now we know a little bit about Mary Simon, the position of the Governor General, and a little bit about Alain Reyes. Let's get into the scandal. This broke a few weeks back. Alain Reyes brought this to Parliament during question period.
The Honourable Member for Richmond-Athabasca. Mr. Speaker, after the Governor-General's lavish spending on international travel, we've learned her office spent over $117,000 on dry cleaning since 2018, an average of $1,800 per month. For fun, I did some calculations based on the going rate for these services. At the rates she's been spending, that's an average of 3 outfits a day, 365 days a year. Why doesn't the government cut her $33 million budget? What are they waiting for? Because she's clearly incapable of managing taxpayers' money seriously and responsibly.
So he drops that bomb, $1,800 a month on dry cleaning for 3 years. That's a ridiculous amount of money, no doubt. The place got really quiet. Pascal Saint-Onge, the Minister of Canadian Heritage, had this little bit to say and then it was over. Check it out.
The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage. Mr. Speaker, the Governor General has done important work for Canada. Obviously, we expect every dollar she spends to be done in a rigorous and conscientious way. Thank you.
Well, this brings to the end of question period.
We found it to be a really exciting story at the time, so we ran it, we made a video on it. It got some views, people liked it, but there was no major media covering this, and I was wondering when would the next time be that I'd hear about this story. It took a little while till Alain Reyes came back with more. Before we show the next clip, I want to mention that the first one took place on October 16th. That's when it started.
The Honourable Member for Richmond-Athabasca. Mr. Speaker, every time we ask questions about the Governor General's indecent spending, the government gets a little offended. They pay lip service, but nothing is done to change the culture of this institution. The Governor General spends thousands on meals, alcoholic beverages, luxury hotels, trips, cleaning services, just to name a few. Imagine on a single plane trip, she even spent nearly $1,000 on slices of lime and lemon. You couldn't make this up. So I repeat my question to the government. Does the government intend to cut its $33 million budget because clearly it doesn't seem to be able to manage taxpayers' money seriously and responsibly?
So October 16th, he drops the initial scandal, and then he follows up, this is October 30th. There's a lot going on here, guys. $1,800 a month for years on laundry, dry cleaning. $1,000 on lemon wedges on a flight. Where were you flying? Mars? Anyhow, deja vu here. Pascal Saint-Onge, Minister of Canadian Heritage, is back to give a very short answer, and then they shut down question period. It might have been ending anyway.
The Honourable Minister. Mr. Speaker, the Governor-General does important work for Canada here and throughout the world. And of course, we expect all public office holders to spend every dollar with respect, with rigour, and in a conscientious way, respecting all Canadians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Et malheureusement, ça nous mène à la fin du...
Unfortunately, that concludes and brings us to the end of our question period.
So I was glad that Alan Reyes was sticking to his guns and not letting that story go, but I couldn't understand why the Canadian media, no major media anywhere, is covering this story. It's a scandal, guys. At least should be investigated. $1,000 on lemon wedges, $1,800 a month on dry cleaning, 3 years. It's scandalous, guys. So that's strange that the media is not touching this story. We ran it again and it was popular on this channel, but no major media is touching it. Alan Reyes, I kind of thought was just going to go away with this story, but he didn't. He came back with more. So let's take a peek at where the scandal is now and what Alan Reyes brought to Parliament again. So this is taking place on November 8th, just so you know, November 8th.
Mr. Speaker, for weeks now, I've been asking questions about the Governor-General's outrageous spending. Every time I get answers from ministers who feign offense and criticize reluctantly, but do nothing to change the ingrained culture of this institution. Meanwhile, GGs come and go, but the extravagant spending on meals, booze, luxury hotels, travel, and dry cleaning marches merrily along. So I ask the Prime Minister today, does his government intend to cut her $33 million budget? Because clearly, she doesn't seem to be able to manage taxpayers' money carefully and responsibly.
So for the third time, Alan Reyes brings his concerns about the Governor-General's ludicrous spending to question period. But today, Justin Trudeau is in the House, so we'll get a straight answer about the Governor-General's spending, won't we?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the Governor-General, Mary Simon, is an upstanding, humane, caring person, and she plays an important role in our society and democracy. We will continue to see to it that her spending is managed appropriately, but the fact is she has a very important role for the stability and future of our democracy.
Et malheureusement,
Unfortunately.
And unfortunately, this concludes question period.
That right there is why I can't trust Trudeau anymore. This scandal, and that's how he defends it, says that she's an upstanding, caring, wonderful person, whatever. This ludicrous spending is being ignored. I don't know why the scandal isn't being touched by major media. We're covering it and trying to get the story out there so that you know, trying to make Canadian politics fun. I don't know where this goes. We'll be following it. That just about wraps it up, guys. We know a little bit more about the Governor-General's role, who the Governor-General is. We know about the MP that's trying to break the story. We'll be covering it right here on Question Period Canada. Like and subscribe. We're doing lots of things with Canadian politics, trying to make it fun, trying to make it informative as well, while it's being fun. That's it. My name's Aaron, Question Period Canada. Thanks for checking us out. Catch you next time.